He refused the deal. A dramatized story inspired by online scam myths and digital manipulation. It began quietly, the way many dangerous things do. In the late 2010s, a young man with dreams of athletic success was spending most of his nights online, watching highlights, studying professionals, imagining a future that felt just out of reach. Like many others his age, he believed opportunity was uneven, and that talent alone was rarely enough. Then one night, a message appeared. There was no greeting, no introduction, no profile photo. Just words, confident, deliberate, and unsettlingly precise. The sender claimed to have influence, connections that operated outside normal systems. They spoke about success not as something earned, but something unlocked. They promised fame, recognition, advancement. They claimed doors could be opened, doors that scouts, coaches, and institutions never touched. At first, the messages felt flattering, encouraging. The sender knew details no stranger should know. The young man's position, his ambitions, his doubts. They spoke as if they had been watching for a long time. Over weeks, the conversations deepened. The sender began referencing athletes who had paid the price and risen suddenly. People who vanished from public view, only to return transformed, stronger, richer, untouchable. The stories were vague, never verifiable, but always persuasive. Then, without warning, the tone changed. The sender said there was a final step, proof of commitment. Something that separated those who only dreamed from those who were chosen. The message was short. The last step requires proof. Then another message followed. Bring your mother. There was no explanation, no context, no details about where or why, just the instruction. That was the moment fear replaced ambition. The young man did not reply. He blocked the account immediately, deleted the messages, tried to convince himself it was just another online scam, another voice exploiting desperation. But the silence did not last. Days later, messages returned from different accounts, different numbers, different usernames, each one referencing conversations that should not have been visible, each one insisting the process had already begun. You already agreed, they wrote. Walking away doesn't undo what started. They sent countdowns, strange symbols, images meant to disturb rather than explain. They warned that refusal had consequences, failure, injury, loss. The pressure became constant. Then, not long after, everything began to unravel. An injury ended the young man's athletic progress. His prospects vanished. The future he had been building collapsed suddenly and without warning. Online, rumors followed. People whispered that he had refused the deal, that he had been marked, that success had been taken from him. There was no evidence, no proof, only belief, amplified by comment sections and speculation. Eventually, he disappeared entirely. His social media accounts went silent. Posts stopped. Messages unanswered. At the same time, the accounts that had contacted him vanished as well, deleted, erased, untraceable. No police reports were filed. No investigation followed. There was no crime to prosecute, no law clearly broken. Nothing tangible enough to bring before a court. Years later, experts would explain what likely happened. Psychological manipulation, fear-based control, scammers exploiting ambition, superstition, and vulnerability to exert power without ever committing a prosecutable act. But the internet preferred a darker explanation, because mystery spreads faster than truth. In the end, there was no trial, no verdict, no justice to deny or deliver. Only a warning, hidden in rumor, exaggerated by belief, and fueled by the dangerous idea that success must always come at a terrible cost. He said no, and silence followed.